Welcome to Polity Current Affairs Part 1, brought to you by QuickVidya, IAS. In this video, we will cover key updates and concepts in Indian polity. The Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act, 2010, provides civil liability for nuclear damage and ensures prompt compensation to victims. It establishes absolute liability for nuclear operators, regardless of fault, and aligns with the Vienna Convention. A specialized claims commissioner is established for efficient damage assessment. The President may refer any question of public importance to the Supreme Court under Article 143, constituting its advisory jurisdiction. Opinions rendered are non-binding, but carry significant persuasive value. A recent reference concerned the scope of Article 142 powers. Article 142 grants the Supreme Court extraordinary powers to do complete justice in any pending case. It allows intervention beyond normal legal provisions to ensure justice and protect fundamental rights. These broad powers are not unlimited and must be used judiciously. Special Category Status, or SCS, was initially granted to 11 states based on criteria like hilly terrain and strategic locations, following the Gadgil-Mukherjee formula. While SCS is now discontinued, special packages continue for Himalayan and Northeast states. Special status under Article 371, AJ, was introduced to address regional disparities and protect unique cultural identities. It includes 12 states with special powers, aiming to protect tribal communities, accelerate development, and preserve cultural heritage. The May 2025 amendment to solar efficiency norms exempts off-grid projects from ALMM list requirements. New efficiency standards mandate 18% for modules below 200 W, and the DRE category provides a 25% subsidy for rural installations. The SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act, enacted in 1989, prevents atrocities against marginalized communities. Offenses are cognizable and non-bailable, and special courts are mandated for speedy trials. The Act directly implements Article 17, abolishing untouchability. The Jammu and Kashmir Public Safety Act allows 1 to 2 years of preventive detention without trial. Officials enjoy immunity from prosecution for actions under this Act. 2018 amendments expanded detention powers and reduced judicial oversight. The Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, or FCRA 2010, regulates NGOs receiving foreign funds, requiring strict monitoring and annual reporting. Mandatory prior approval is required, and certain categories, such as political parties and government employees, are barred from receiving foreign funds. The FCRA Amendment Act 2020 strictly bans transferring foreign contributions to any other entity. Administrative expenditure is capped at 20%. And a dedicated SBI account is mandatory. Compulsory Aadhaar authentication is also required for key functionaries. The Official Secrets Act, 1923, prohibits spying activities that affect India's sovereignty and integrity. Illegal transmission of sensitive information to foreign agents is a violation, punishable by up to 14 years imprisonment under BNS Section 152. The Take It Down Act criminalizes non-consensual intimate image sharing, explicitly including AI deepfakes. Platforms have a 48-hour mandatory removal window and must delete content from all servers and backups. The copyright legal framework encompasses several exclusive rights: reproduction, communication, translation, adaptation, distribution, and performance. These rights ensure creators control how their work is used and shared publicly. The Copyright Act of 1957 covers literary, dramatic, musical, artistic works, films, and sound recordings. Protection lasts for the author's life plus 60 years. Key provisions include fair use exceptions and implementation of the WIPO Copyright Treaty. The Safe Harbor Clause in the IT Act, 2000, provides legal immunity to intermediaries for third-party content, provided they comply with due diligence and takedown notices. Platforms must remove unlawful content within 36 hours of notification. Section 79 of the IT Act, 2000, regulates cyber activities and recognizes digital signatures as legally valid. Intermediary immunity requires no content modification and adherence to guidelines. The Shreya Singhal ruling clarified intermediary liability. Sikkim's statehood journey spanned centuries, from the Namgyal dynasty to becoming a British protectorate. The 1975 referendum led to Sikkim becoming India's 22nd state through the 36th Amendment, ending 333 years of monarchy. Article 371F was added to protect Sikkim's unique identity. safeguarding local languages and customs. It mandates a 32-member legislative assembly and restricts land transfer to non-Siamese persons to protect indigenous rights. The Overseas Citizen of India (OCI) scheme strengthens ties with the Indian diaspora. Eligibility includes persons of Indian origin up to 4 generations. Benefits include a lifelong visa and parity with NRIs and financial matters, but OCI holders cannot vote or hold constitutional posts. The E0FIR system allows instant digital filing for cyber financial crimes with a 10 lakh threshold. It integrates with the 1930 helpline for immediate response and is implemented through the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center infrastructure. A 0 FIR can be filed irrespective of the crime's area. It is later transferred to the concerned jurisdiction police station while maintaining the original timestamp. This ensures no delay in registration and maintains the chain of evidence integrity. Anticipatory bail, under Section 438 of CRPC, grants protection from arrest for non-bailable offenses. Applications are filed before the High Court or Sessions Court, which may impose conditions like personal bonds or travel restrictions. Bail is a judicial release mechanism with conditions such as sureties and non-interference with witnesses. Failure to appear in court constitutes a violation. Police and magistrates have the authority to grant interim bail and set final conditions. The Supreme Court directive mandates the establishment of exclusive POCSO courts for child sexual offense cases. These special courts have exclusive jurisdiction and must be set up with child-friendly infrastructure and trained personnel. Contempt of court protects the dignity of judicial institutions. Articles 129 and 215 grant inherent power to punish for contempt. Contempt is defined by the 1971 Act as either civil or criminal, and is punishable by up to 6 months imprisonment or a fine. Debt recovery tribunals, DRTs, were established in 1993 to expedite debt recovery for amounts of 20 lakh or more. DRTs also handle SARFAESI applications, and the Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunal, DRIT, hears appeals against DRT orders. Lok Adalat, or People's Court, is a statutory alternative dispute resolution mechanism. Disputes are resolved through voluntary consensus, ensuring equal justice and free legal aid. The binding awards hold the same legal force as civil court decrees. Permanent Lok Adalats, established in 2002, handle disputes related to public utility services with a 1 crore monetary limit. They function continuously and have adjudication powers with binding decisions when conciliation fails. Arbitration in India is governed by the Arbitration and Conciliation Act, 1996. The process results in final awards, subject to challenge within 3 months. Court intervention is limited to specific powers under the Act. A private member's bill is a legislative initiative proposed by an individual, non-minister MP. A 1-month notice is mandatory, and debates are scheduled exclusively on Fridays. Historically, 14 bills have been passed since independence. Constitutional grounds for MLA disqualification under Article 191 include holding an office of profit, being of unsound mind, or insolvency. Additional disqualifications exist under the Representation of People Act, 1951, and the 10th Schedule for defection. The NOTA option, established in 2013, is the voter's right to reject all candidates. Currently, it has no electoral value. The candidate with the highest valid votes wins, regardless of the NOTA percentage. Legislative changes are required to give NOTA electoral consequences. The right to digital access has been established as a fundamental right through the Amar Jain case, applying Article 21. Judicial recognition connects it to freedom of expression and constitutional guarantees of equality and social justice. The right to know encompasses transparency and accessibility of information. The Wikimedia Foundation case affirmed freedom of information principles in the digital age, with legal safeguards for user-generated content. The Supreme Court has affirmed pedestrian rights as fundamental constitutional protections. Article 21 guarantees pedestrian safety as part of the right to life. Mandatory infrastructure like crosswalks and accessible sidewalks are constitutionally mandated. Delimitation of Lok Sabha constituencies is governed by Articles 82 and 170. The 42nd and 87th Amendments froze delimitation until the first census after 2026, when a mandatory revision based on population data will be required. The Supreme Court Collegium, headed by the Chief Justice of India, evolved through the 3 judges' cases, The current model requires the CJI to consult with 4 senior-most judges, transforming consultation into binding majority concurrence for appointments. The removal of judges involves an in-house 7-step procedure. A 3-member committee of senior judges examines the allegations, adhering strictly to natural justice principles. Judges may also voluntarily resign during proceedings. The deputy speaker position, established under Article 93, is traditionally held by the opposition and has equal powers as the speaker when presiding. The position has been vacant since 2019, the longest such vacancy in constitutional history.